We are Cindy and Michael Fess from Louisville, Kentucky, and we're a married couple. We always come up here to Ohio, and we do all the shows that we can all around here. We're talking about angels today because both of us have had personal experiences with angels. First, I want to tell you a little bit about who we are and where we're from. My name is Michael, and this is my wife, Cindy. I'm a musician, and I play in an R&B band down in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm a drummer, and I play keyboards and write a lot of music. And we met in 2006 at this show, much like this one. I came in and Cindy was giving readings to people, and I plopped down my $20 at the head of where they collect the money, and I came in and I kind of looked around the room, and I saw this blonde sitting in the center of the room, and I go, well, that's the one I want to get my reading from.
Yeah, right.
And it was a no-brainer, you know. So I went up and I sat down and said, hi, my name is Michael, and I guess you'll be giving me my reading today.
Well, I tried to give him a reading because I was drawing a mandala for him with, his name and sacred symbols. And immediately he started giving me a reading, and he wouldn't stop talking.
Oh.
So I just kept drawing. I thought, well, it's his money, So I thought, this is easy money. He's going to do all the work, right?
Exactly. I didn't know really what to say to her, but I'm kind of a visionary, and I see past lives with people, and I saw a past life with her, and it just unfolded in front of me like a movie. And so later on that day, she said, listen, I'm going to be speaking and doing a meditation in this room. Why don't you come in and listen to me? And I said, okay. So I was out in the hall, and I wasn't paying any attention. Time got by me, and she opened up the door, and she came out, and she said, are you coming or not?
Well.
And I said, yes, I'm coming. And so I went in there to listen to her. I actually saw this angelic presence next to her, and she was doing a meditation, and I thought, this needs music, and that's what the only thing missing from this is music. Maybe I'll invite her in the studio, and we'll take her meditation and we'll put my music with it, and that would make the perfect thing, right?
That would make the perfect thing. Well, a year earlier, I had asked God through a prayer. I said, listen, I want to do an angel meditation to go with my book, Harmony and Me. And I could not find the right music. So a year later, God answers my prayer, because at the end of my meditation that day, Michael hands me a CD, and it's Lemurian Dream. And as soon as I held it, I knew by the way it felt that it was going to be really good, of a high vibration. But when I actually put the music on and listened to the whole thing, when it was done, I said, oh my goodness, this is unbelievable. And I got on the phone right away, and I called him up and I said, can we do a meditation live? I really want to work with you and put music to my meditation. So we began to meet and talk about
making the album together.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what we did was we had a meditation at Cindy's house. We invited these people over, and she did the meditation without the music, and I took her vocal back into the studio and put it together with the music. I called her up, I said, I'm done, let's listen to this. And we met at a TGIF Fridays, and we drove down to the river, and I put the CD in and we played it. And it was a moment for both of us, because we realized at that moment, I think, that we had a destiny, together. And I told her, I said, we can make a whole library of these CDs and teach people how to meditate, how to find, or teach people how to incorporate the Spirit in their life, how to bring God into their life in a closer way through meditation and prayer. And I knew how to record, and I had a studio, and I had the availability and the power with which to do this. And so what happened then?
Well, when we listened to it together, it blew my mind. It was so incredible, the meditation with this music with it. And we called it Angel Harmony, which is our first CD together, and we're still selling that one very strongly. But in the 3.5 weeks that we met to finish this project, we fell in love because I saw a vision of us doing this work together. I saw us on stage speaking to people, traveling around, performing together, and opening people's hearts. And I knew that we had done it before in other lifetimes, and I knew that we had to be together to do it again because we have the same mission, and we're twin flames. We're two people that got married, and we have a mission of helping as many people as we can on this planet and bringing world healing through our talents and our speaking and our inspiration, doing it together. So two people as a team are always stronger than one, right?
Two are always stronger than one. And the reason we're talking about angels today is because both of us have had personal experiences. We think that everybody has experiences with spirit all the time. And they move in and out of your life, and sometimes it's the way the wind blows, or sometimes it's the color of the day, a flash of light out of the corner of your eye. It's a song on the radio. It's something that Spirit is giving to you. And those are always angelic whispers. Those are always angels and your guides seeking to get your attention. Because what they want to impress upon you is, what were you thinking at that very moment, that divine moment in your life? And sometimes it's many moments throughout your day. Sometimes it's driving, and sometimes it's in the office, and sometimes it's walking through a mall, or sometimes it's shopping. But when they've got you alone, and it's just you and God, you will get messages, and they come to you, and sometimes we're not tuned in enough to really get that it's really happening. But I want to share with you what happened to me. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
When I was very young, I had asthma real bad. This is in the 50s. I'm kind of giving out. I'm 63. And in the 50s, they did not have a medicine for asthma. And my father would be very upset with me. He thought that I'd bring these asthma attacks on myself to get attention. And I would stay in my room and try to hide it. And one night I was having an asthma attack, and these two beings showed up in my room, and they were golden, and they had these long white flowing dresses on, and their feet did not touch the ground. And I knew that they were angels, and they glowed, and the whole room lit up. And they passed their hands over me, and I'm a very small child, 5, maybe 4 years old. They passed their hands over me, and they took the asthma attack away, and they said, "Now we're going to put you to sleep. We want you to go to sleep." So this was the first time. The second time, I was in the bathroom with the door closed, and I had the water running, and I couldn't breathe. In those days, there was no inhaler. There was no rescue inhaler. There was no Symbicort. There was no Advair. There was nothing. And so, if you got an asthma attack, they had to take you to the hospital, to the emergency room to get oxygen. A lot of children died from asthma back in those days. So I'm in the bathroom, the water's running, I'm down on my knees, and they show up again in this bathroom. These two great big angels show up, and they picked me up in the air, and they held me in their arms. And the three of us walked through the door like this, and they took me into my bedroom. And I had a little bunk bed, which was like right over here, and they set me down in the bed, and again, they put their hands over me, and they told me to go to sleep, and they were going to take my asthma attack away. I could only tell my grandmother about this, and I was forever changed in that moment, and the world was never the same for me again, because I had been touched by God, and I had been touched by His angels, and I'd had an experience that I knew that nobody else had had. And I also never saw the world the same again after that day. The world was never the same for me again, because the veil had been pulled back, and I was able to see what was on the other side. So we often speak of angels, Cindy and I do, because we feel that everyone has their own angels as well, and everyone has those whispers, and everyone sees that flash of light. Everyone hears that song. Everyone is touched by God. Spirit is always sending messages, always reaching through from that side to this side with, it might be a smell in the air, it might be music off in the distance, it might be the cold chills that you get and you don't know why. It could be a person that's made their transition, crossed over to the other side, and they're reaching all the way through that wall to get your attention, to let you know that there is only life, that there is no death, that there is only life. That every animal and every person that we've ever known in our life are all well and fine on the other side. In fact, they're much more alive over there than we are over here. And that side is very active. That's the active side of infinity through the veil. Some people have had these experiences of reaching through that veil and touching the other side. So now I'm going to let Cindy share her story with you about her angel experiences as well.
Thanks, honey. That's pretty dramatic, so thank goodness the angel saved you.
Yes.
I'd be pretty upset.
I heard the voices.
So I've been aware that I've had angels and spiritual guides all of my life, but I never really put a name to it because I just felt them with me, and then sometimes I would see flashes of their faces. But, when you grow up in church and you go to church every Sunday, they talk about angels, but it seems disconnected, like it's only from the Bible times. When you celebrate Christmas or whatever, and you're thinking, well, the angels, they sound really nice. So in my mind, there was a disconnect of, there was angels in my mind, from the Bible, but I had them all around me. So it's very difficult to explain how I had a separation between the two. But as I got older, I began to understand better what their function and their role was in my life. And I was very spiritual all of my life until my, early 19, and I met my first husband, and our religions were different. So he didn't believe in God, so I put my religion or my spirituality on the back burner in order to be with him, which that's always a huge mistake, because your spirituality, that's who you are, really, And when you lie to yourself, you can only be half of a person. But nevertheless, when my first husband left me in 1995, I didn't have my spirituality anymore because I had put that on a back burner. But I started to read books about angels and near-death experiences, and it started to bring it back to me. And I began to have these experiences of, I would see flashes of light or spheres of light, and I could feel that the angels were with me, getting me through that really hard time. But, it's hard to explain to other people what that's really like. But I feel that everyone has had contact with angels, whether they see or feel that or not. But on one night, I kind of decided that I didn't want to be on this earth anymore because I was just tired of being depressed and upset. So I told God, I said, either you prove to me now that you exist or I'm checking out. That's it. So all of a sudden, I felt the power of God moving through me, and I had to keep my end of the bargain. I knew God existed. I just knew from that point on. So during that year that my first husband was away, one day I was going into a store that sold all kinds of spiritual books, and there was nothing in front of the store at all, just sidewalk, no people, nothing. It was a long, expansive sidewalk. And as I'm walking through the door, a very tall lady appears beside me from thin air, basically, and she just smiled at me like she knew me. And I thought, wow, she just looks so happy, and she seems like she knows me. How can this be? But my mind was still on other things. When I went into the store and I looked around for the books for a while, some of the books, although they were spiritual, were fear-based. And I started feeling very nervous and very fearful, which is not what spirituality is about. You're not supposed to feel fearful. So I felt that my angels wanted me to leave. So during the entire time of being in the store, I never saw the lady. She wasn't in there. As I'm walking through the door, literally, she appears beside me again. And she spoke to me. But her voice had a very electric quality, as if you were listening to a digital recording. I can't explain that. But she says, "Aren't the clouds and sky lovely?" And immediately I felt better, and I looked up, and it was a beautiful day with bright blue sky and white fluffy clouds. And my fears just lifted away. And then I turned, and she was gone. I mean, literally gone. And I walked to my car and I thought, wow, that had to be an angel. But why? Why did she appear to me? So as I began to think about why she appeared to me, I realized it was to put me back on my spiritual path, which was not about fear, but all about finding truth. And spirituality is really all about love, and it's expanding the heart space, and it's about having faith. And so from that minute on, I started having more experiences with that angel. I call her Angel Harmony because that's who she is. She never appeared to me physically again, but I felt her with me. And so I wrote a book called Harmony in Me, and Harmony speaks to people about basic struggles that we all go through. And so Michael and I are here to help you understand that you have angels too, and that angels are very loving. They're not fearful at all, but they're here to help us and inspire us.
And inspire us. And what it is that the veil has become so thin that the whole world has access to Spirit now. And what used to be this thick wall and this forever space between God, Spirit, Jesus, Mother Mary, Michael, Metatron, and everybody else that endeavors to help mankind, that veil and that wall is very thin now. And so the people that have transited out of our lives, they try to get in touch with us in ways that we can't even begin to fathom, because it happens in a whisper and not in a roar. Many things will come to you while you're in your car. Not the most ideal place, but it happens a lot, because when you're in your car and there's no music playing, it's you and God. And there's just something in that sacred moment, just for a few moments, where it can become almost churchy. You know, where you get things that you wish you had a pen and a paper, but you don't need to be writing at 70 miles an hour. Archangel Michael has told me this many times. I'm not giving messages in here, only just for just a little bit, you know, and I feel his presence, and I feel the presence of Jesus Christ with me all the time. All the time, more than I ever had before. And I'm not a Jesus freak by any stretch of the imagination, but I love him and he loves me. And I get it. I understand unconditional love. I know what he's about. I'll tell you something. Spirit is working in this room right now, and Spirit is everywhere. And I cannot tell you why this happens up in Ohio like it does, but it sure does. Cleveland, Dayton, Akron, Cincinnati, Columbus, the Mounds, you just name it. There's a lot going on up here. We love Ohio, so we come up here all the time. We're up here constantly. We wanted to talk about angels today because each and every person has guides working with them from the day you were born. Sometimes they switch off and other people come in, but nobody is without these guides. Nobody is without the angelic force in your life. All it takes is just opening up and say, okay, God, I'm ready for my angels. Please bring them to me in a way that I'll absolutely know that it was a message from you. And Spirit will respond. Spirit will respond in your life in ways that you, gosh, sometimes it's just unbelievable, and you'll smile and you'll go, okay, I get it. You know, they come to it in ways that's very intimate and it's very personal. The way Spirit comes and works in our life. These are our angels for everyday living, and they're always there. Sometimes you call in your warrior angels when you want to be, you know, be a little badass. And warrior angels come in and help you get tough. Sometimes you have angels come in, but you might need a personal healing or a little bit of comfort or a little bit of advice. People who can't sleep can call angels in to help them with that and to relax. Meditation's a real good idea because in that moment you make a space, and in that moment Spirit comes into that space. But we're always thinking, and we're very, very busy and very, very mental. So there's no space for Spirit to exist in our lives unless we create it. And when we make that space, no matter how small or how big it is, God always comes in and fills that space up.
Yes, that's for sure, because we have to give him a little bit of space. And the reason I was able to have these angelic visitations was because I was just very open about it. I wasn't trying to control anything. I was just very allowing. Because when you try to force something, it actually creates a blocking type of energy, and they can't get through because it's too tough for the angels to do that. So if we want to have communication with them, they can still communicate with us, but it's a lot easier if we're just like surrendering and allowing and letting it be the way it's supposed to be. Because honestly, the people that don't have any signs at all, I admire those people the most, because that means you're going on blind faith, that you have a higher power looking out for you, and that you have all these beautiful angels watching over you, and you don't need proof because you have a knowing, and you're allowing things to unfold as they're supposed to unfold. Some people do get more of the phenomena or the visitations or whatever. Maybe those people need it more. And maybe it's okay to just go, you know what? I know you're there. I know you're going to let me feel you or just know about you, and that's enough. Because faith is all about taking a step forward in confidence. We move, and providence moves with us. We move forward, and the angels move with us. Now, here's how it is. You and all of you people in this room, we're the ground crew. We're down here in the trenches doing the hard work of spirit. We're down here to be angels on earth. And I can't tell you how many meditations that I've led over the years. And when I'm doing a meditation and I see people's wings open up on their backs, it is so amazing and gratifying because everybody's got them. Some people have baby wings, some people have big, widespread wings, but they've all got them. So we're down here to be angels on earth. We are the ground crew. The angels can't do that much without us. They need us in partnership with them, working as a team to do good work and to be loving people and to bring light and joy and abundance and prosperity to everybody we're coming in contact with. So here we are, we're angels on earth in training. We got the real angels working with us and helping us, thank goodness. All we have to do is keep asking them to help us and do what we're inspired to do. That's not so hard, is it? No. So here's how it is. From now on, I'm asking you all to be angels on earth and to prosper every person that you come in contact with. Be a blessing to every person that you come in contact with. Whether it's a smile or a compliment or a hug or a silent prayer or just good thoughts. We always want to interact with people in a positive way because all of this divine love is streaming to the planet and we have to receive it and give it and then receive it back. So we're down here, we're opening up our hearts because that's a very expansive energy, right?
Yes.
Like this love?
Yes.
Like this love?
This love right here.
Show me some love.
She caught me off guard.
Show me some love.
She caught me off guard.
It's okay.
This is about the heart, and but spirit, they're always telling me, lighten up, man, lighten up. Don't be so serious all the time. Lighten up, and that's the truth about this. Because all of our spirituality in our day-to-day realms we need to lighten up about it, because this universe is a universe of joy, and so because this is a heart-centered matter, I wrote this song called "The Heart Dance." And I drug my little keyboard from our booth all the way up to this room on a dolly. And then I set it up and I plugged it in so I could sing this song for you. This is called the Heart Dance. I wrote this about a year ago. Are you ready, little honey?
Yep. This song is a very heart-opening song. Michael's original work. And the heart is always going to be your strongest part of you. Always, always, always. It's always going to be very empowering to you. And so here we are. We're talking about angel power.
Angel power. Where do we come from? And where do we go? And why do we struggle here with all that we know? It's a mystery of life and taking a chance. It's being all you can in this heart dance.
You'll never diminish the light that you are. All roads lead to happiness when you wish upon a star. It's just knowing that you know, but not at first glance. It's believing that spirit has given you.
Heart dance. From the time that till the day that we die, we weather the storm and kiss it all goodbye. Goodbye. To forgive is a blessing that only you can know, and is the catalyst for all hearts to grow.
It's just being who you are, and that's simply by chance. When love comes to find you in this,
Yeah. The heart dance. The heart dance. The heart dance. The heart dance. Na, na, na. Hey.
Michael's recovering from respiratory, so
Yeah, buddy.
a little bit harder to get it out, isn't it?
It sure is. I'll be right there.
You got your R&B voice, though.
Yeah, man. That's right.
So one of the things that can hold us back from really partnering with our angels is unforgiveness. And that would be starting with the unforgiveness of ourselves. The most important person that you can ever forgive is yourself. You know how we just kind of heap judgment on ourselves and we live in regret and we just can't let things go. Maybe we did something 20 years ago or 10 weeks ago. It doesn't matter. That is not a love-based spirituality. God is about love, not about holding on to these lower energies of guilt and unforgiveness. So as we lift up and just let go of all this unforgiveness that we have towards ourselves, just let it go, then we're really being in the moment and we're really being in our hearts. The more that you can heap love upon yourself and nurture yourself and have compassion for yourself, the greater your spirituality is going to be. This is actually energetically very strengthening to your energy bodies. Your light body needs lots and lots of love and compassion and forgiveness. That is going to strengthen you from your cells to your bones to your tissues to all of you. And that's what we want. We want to expand our energies. But anytime we're in guilt, fear, doubt, worry, unforgiveness, those are very low energies and they're contracted energies. And they take away and they drain us.
I think that today we move too fast, and spirit goes a little bit slower, and so they're forever asking us to slow down just a little bit and to open our hearts more. Not to judge anybody, because judgment makes you really heavy and really dense. Also, judgment makes you really old and really slow. And I have to tell you that your own judgment of anything, person, place, or thing, comes back to you now almost immediately. Used to be back in the day, there was a buffer zone for karma. There is no buffer zone anymore. The energy's real fast and it's immediate. So always live on the edge of as much purity and as much honesty as you possibly can. Allow everybody and everything within reason to be themselves and be as they will, because they're God's creature too. And so that's what that's all about. We were talking about Jesus earlier, and I'm not going to get on the Jesus thing, but that's what he was all about. That's what he was trying to say. Let it all go. Paul McCartney said, let it be. And so what that means is that everything is a perfect whatever it is, as long as they're not hurting somebody else. And that this world will continue to flow with or without us. And that all the stars in the sky, and every breath that every person ever takes, it all counts. It all counts. The only thing that really matters is just how you lived and how you loved on this earth plane. Because you're not taking anything with you. And your emotion and your feeling that you have right now, and then you pass on to your children or to your friends, is the only thing that we can take with us to the other side. So with that, I think we're going to wrap today. If that's
We're going to wrap it up?
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
And we are Cindy and Michael. We're from Louisville, Kentucky. We thank you all so much for coming up to hear us play and sing today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all. We're in booth 206, and we love it if you come down and visit us. Michael has wonderful music. We have guided meditations. We have my book. We have jewelry. We do angel readings. We give angel messages with the purchase. So come down and say hi to us and get on our mailing list if you want to. We're at getharmonynow.com, and we're on Facebook at Get Harmony Now. And we would love it if you'd be our friends on Facebook. And you can come down and get a business card from us or get on our list. And
Yeah, that'd be great.
thank you all for being such a patient audience. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.